Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 2230, your source for in-depth analysis and commentary on current events in Asia. Today, we have a fascinating story to discuss, revolving around the recent exoneration of Christopher James de Souza, a Member of Parliament for Holland-Bukit Timah GRC and Deputy Speaker of Parliament in Singapore. I'm here to provide you with a detailed and engaging perspective on this intriguing case. The Law Society of Singapore, LawSoc, recently made headlines by refunding 32,000 Singapore dollars to Mr. de Souza after he was cleared of alleged professional misconduct. The story began with Mr. de Souza facing 5 charges by LawSoc, which sparked a legal saga that ultimately led to his exoneration. The primary issue at the heart of this case was whether Mr. de Souza had failed to make a full and frank disclosure to the court regarding his client, Amber Compounding Pharmacy Pte. Limited, and Amber Laboratories Pte. Limited, infringing the terms of a search order. A tribunal initially identified possible grounds for disciplinary action on one of these charges but absolved Mr. de Souza of the other 4. However, the court of 3 judges, comprising Justices Belinda Ang, Bih Li, and Kannan Ramesh, disagreed with the tribunal's findings. They emphasized that there was no intention on Mr. de Souza's part to suppress information and ruled in his favor. They stated that LawSoc had not proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. de Souza intended to help his client suppress evidence. Justice Kannan Ramesh pointed out that Mr. de Souza genuinely believed he had effectively disclosed Amber's breach of the search order undertaking to the court, including the fact that some information from the documents had already been conveyed to the authorities. As a result, Mr. de Souza was acquitted. It's worth noting that the Law Society of Singapore was ordered to refund the entire amount Mr. de Souza paid, comprising both costs and disbursements. Mr. de Souza's legal team, represented by Senior Counsel Tan Chi Meng and Mr. Calvin Ong from Wong Partnership, expressed that he is humbled by the result and feels fully vindicated. They also mentioned his eagerness to continue focusing on his many duties, to family, country, and practice. The case initially came to light due to observations by the Court of Appeal concerning the High Court judge's handling of documents obtained from the search order. An inquiry committee recommended only a fine for Mr. de Souza in January 2021, without the need for further investigation. However, LawSoc sought a disciplinary tribunal, leading to the contested proceedings and the initial 18,000 Singapore dollar cost order against Mr. de Souza. Mr. de Souza's legal team argued that LawSoc should bear the costs for the hearing before the court of 3 judges, alleging that the investigations and prosecution were unjustified and oppressive. The court, however, decided against an adverse costs order for LawSoc for this hearing. In a statement highlighting the outcome, Mr. de Souza's lawyers pointed to the court's judgment, which asserted that Mr. de Souza had indeed disclosed the client's breaches to the court, which was fatal to the Law Society's case theory. With this judicial acknowledgement, the MP for Holland-Bukit Timah GRC expressed relief that the matter has been finally closed, and he has been fully vindicated. The tribunal's findings shed light on the events leading up to this exoneration. It was revealed that Amber was advised by Mr. de Souza and Lee to file an urgent application for leave in the civil proceedings, allowing Amber to preserve and use the documents seized pursuant to the search orders for the purpose of making criminal reports. During a pre-trial conference held on January 23, 2019, Mr. de Souza requested an extension to complete the listing exercise without disclosing the breach to the court. After the conference, he requested an extension of time in a letter dated January 25, 2019, without mentioning the breach. The tribunal's report found that Mr. de Souza was clearly aware that documents and information had already been used, and that his client was determined not to be honest with the court. The report detailed the exchanges between Mr. de Souza and Amber, highlighting the legal complexities and the meticulous nature of the disclosure process. The report also pointed out that Mr. de Souza and his legal team maintained an unyielding position on the disclosure of Amber's breach of undertakings, even though they were aware that the authorities had not yet been contacted. It's evident that Mr. de Souza remained firm in his stance throughout the process. In conclusion, the tribunal determined that Amber's failure to fully and frankly disclose amounted to suppression of evidence, and Mr. de Souza, as a party to and facilitator of the suppression, assisted in the act by filing the supporting affidavit. This case highlights the intricate nature of legal proceedings and the importance of disclosure in maintaining the integrity of the justice system. Mr. de Souza's exoneration is undoubtedly a significant development in the legal and political landscape of Singapore. As always, we encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments section, like this video, and subscribe to 2230 for more in-depth analysis of important events in the Asian region. Thank you for joining us today, and stay tuned for more engaging content.